TEKS 12b, function notation. So we're going to define what f of x means. So in this case, f of x is the same as saying y. So we're saying f of x is equal to y. So anywhere you see an f of x, you're just assuming that that is the same as y. For example, if I look at example 1, this says f of x equals 3x minus 2. F of x is the same as y, so it's the same as writing y equals 3x minus 2. Note that this equation is very much like the equation you learned in 8th grade. So this equation is very similar to y equals mx plus b. We're going to be talking a little bit more about that during the week. Okay, so on number 1, what it wants us to do is for A, it wants us to find f of 3. So since this 3 is inside the parentheses, that is where our x is. Because remember, it's f of x. So this is saying that x is equal to 3, so we need to plug in x in order to find y. So we have f of 3 is equal to 3 parentheses 3 minus 2. So this 3 came from the f of 3, and the 3 and the minus 2 came from our original equation. So then we just need to simplify this. So 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 minus 2 is 7. So this is equal to 9 minus 2, which equals 7. So f of 3 is equal to 7. We can also write this as an ordered point. Since this number here is x, and this number here is y, this is the same as saying 3, 7. Okay, let's look at letter B and do the same thing. So remember, this is f of x. So that means this 5 is an x. So we're going to plug in that 5 into our equation. So 3 parentheses 5 minus 2. Then we simplify. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 minus 2 is 13. So f of 5 is equal to 13. Remember, this is x and this is y. So this is the same as saying 5, 13. That's our answer. Okay, let's look at example 2. It's going to be a little different. Okay, example 2 says consider the equation below. Now we have f of x is equal to 7x minus 2. Remember, this is the same as saying y equals 7x minus 2. Notice here on letter A, instead of having a number inside of this parentheses, it's now here on the outside. So remember, f of x is the same as y, so this is saying y is equal to 12. So that means instead of y, we're going to plug in 12. So 12 is equal to 7x minus 2. And then we're going to solve. So remember, you can solve this using insolve. So insolve, menu 3-1. Or we could solve it by hand. So I'm going to go ahead and solve it by hand. So I'm going to add 2 to the other side. And I get 12 plus 2 is 14. It's equal to 7x. Divide by 7, divide by 7. I'm left with x is equal to 2. Since x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 12, this is the point 2, 12. Okay, so we're going to do the exact same thing for B. Okay, again, we don't have an x value, and so f of x is equal to y, so y is equal to 19. So instead of y, we're going to put 19. So 19 equals 7x minus 2. Remember, we can use insolve, menu 3-1, or we can solve by hand. So I'm going to add 2 to the other side. 19 plus 2 is 21. Bring down the 7x. Divide by 7, and I get x is equal to 3. Since x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 19, this is the point 3, 19. Okay. Okay, one last example. This is now when we're looking at a graph. So A says find f of 1. Remember, if it's in the parentheses, we know this is x. So we need to go to the x-axis and find 1. So here's 1 on the x-axis. So if I draw this line all the way up until it connects to the graph, I notice that it connects to the graph at this y value. So the answer to f of 1 is equal to 3. This is the point 1, 3. Notice that's the point I also draw on the graph right here. So where it both connects. Okay, and then letter B says f of x is equal to negative 3. Remember, f of x is y, so this is saying y is equal to negative 3. So I need to go on my y's. Negative 3 is right here. I need to figure out where it connects to the graph, which is here, and then what x value that is. So this is saying that the x value is negative 1. So x is equal to negative 1. So the point is negative 1, negative 3.